Welcome to another Super Deluxe Edition unboxing video. Today we're going to take a look at the new Dark Side of the Moon Blu-ray audio release, which is out this week. Now here is the package. This is what they call a breakout edition. So this means that this content was in a box set previously and it's now available as a standalone product. It's actually slightly different from the Blu-rays in the box set, but we'll take a look at that in a minute. You can see there's the sticker. This has the Dolby Atmos mix of Pink Floyd's 1973 album, The Dark Side of the Moon. 50 years in a heartbeat. This is part of the 50th anniversary celebrations. So let's open this up and take a look. But before we do that, I thought it'd be interesting to look back at other high-res audio, spatial audio, surround sound editions of this album. So this came out 20 years ago, so this is the 30th anniversary edition. And this is a Super Audio CD. So this is when Super Audio was kind of the format of choice for high-resolution audio. The thing with Super Audio is you need a special player to listen to the surround sound version and the high-res stereo, but you can listen to the normal stereo normally on hybrid discs. If you've got a normal CD player, it will work. So again, you can see here one of the many variations of the covers that we've enjoyed over the years. And yeah, there's the disc itself. That logo there is a Super Audio logo. This has the 5.1 surround sound mix and it has a high-res stereo mix. The good thing about this was it was very cheap to purchase, and I think you still can get hold of it relatively easily. You know, nothing flashy about the packaging. Jewel case. It does have quite a nice glossy booklet actually. I do quite like this image as well. But other than that, reasonably standard. This is the cheapest way to own a surround sound version of The Dark Side of the Moon. Now, some of you might remember when the immersion boxes came out in 2011, all those years ago, there was this acoustic sounds version of Wish You Were Here on SACD, because in 2011, the contents of the box set were DVD and Blu-ray. So there's no SACD in the immersion box of Wish You Were Here. So Acoustic Sounds or Analog Productions did this version of the 5.1 mix on Super Audio CD. It's quite nicely packaged. So you've got these cards here. Yeah, and a nice little booklet edition here. It's a kind of interesting packaging, sort of semi-digipack, but it's in a book edition. So that was quite nice. And then for ages we were promised the Dark Side of the Moon version, but it didn't emerge for another decade, which is crazy really. So this same thing, it's Analog Productions stroke Acoustic Sounds. It's a Super Audio CD. It didn't come out until 2021. The packaging is quite similar, but you get a slipcase for this version. This effectively is kind of the same as this. There's not really going to be much difference. It's just this is presented in a more deluxe kind of fashion, if you like. So, lyrics, booklet. So, I mean, as you can see, it's quite consistent with Wish You Were Here. The only difference is it has this slipcase. So that wasn't that long ago, but it's very sort of niche audiophile sort of product. So that's 2021 Super Audio CD, Dark Side of the Moon. So of course this brings us on to the new one, which I'm going to open up now. So yet another cover variation of the famous artwork. The packaging for this is quite weird. It's sort of not really like it's a bit like the Acoustic Sounds ones, but not really. So if you remember, we did get a standalone Blu-ray for Animals, and this is reasonably cheap and cheerful. You know, you've got the booklet there. The Blu-ray here, which is not ideal, sliding in and out. That was a kind of cheap and cheerful packaging, it has to be said. They've upped the ante a bit with Dark Side of the Moon. So you get this inserts bit here, which is quite similar to the Acoustic Sounds one. You get some stickers, you know. I think this is a glossy postcard. And the booklet. Quite a nice little booklet. Same kind of lyric design as the analog production one. And then this bit, this is sort of slightly kind of weird, and I mean they've tried to make it a bit creative, I suppose, but there's a die cut pyramid and then the Blu-ray slides out like that, so at least it's protected with an inner sleeve, unlike Animals. And then you get the disc there. So what's different about this is you get the Dolby Atmos mix on it, you get the 5.1 surround mix, and then you get a very high-res remastered stereo mix. It's 192 by 24. So the content's great, but in the box set it was slightly different. So in the box set you had these 3 discs. You had Blu-ray, which had the 5.1 surround mix, and it had the stereo mix 192/24. So that was like called the Blu-ray. The DVD had the 5.1 Dolby Digital surround mix, and slightly lower quality version. But then there was this disc called Atmos, which doesn't really make sense because Blu-ray is a physical product, DVD is a physical product, Atmos is a way of mixing, so it's not actually consistent to do that. But they put the Atmos mix and the high-res stereo on a separate disc, which they didn't need to. It should have already been on one, so it was a bit sort of cynical and stupid to do that, to be honest. However, the good thing about the standalone release is it does bring everything together, so it makes a lot of sense, and as a standalone product I think it's really quite good. I mean, one of the best albums ever made in Atmos 5.1 and the highest resolution stereo you can get. I think this is probably, I was going to say it's the last word on Dark Side of the Moon. I think only a fool would say this is the last word on Dark Side of the Moon, but it's hard to know what they could really do in terms of improving the sound of the album with Atmos and extremely high-res stereo, and you've got the 5.1 if you haven't got an Atmos setup yet. So I hope you've enjoyed this brief look at this new Blu-ray audio edition of Pink Floyd's The Dark Side of the Moon. If you have, why not subscribe to Super Deluxe Edition's YouTube channel for more great physical music unboxed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.